Um, the problem is that when you get a brain injury and the corpus callosum inevitably gets damaged the most, the two hemispheres are talking to each other. Well, the problem is the left hemisphere doesn't actually even believe the right hemisphere exists. So it's just screaming through this network. Facts,
Mm-hmm.
details, data, points, agitation. Yeah, it's estrogen. It's female,
Yes.
right? And the right hemisphere is over there like, there's a threat right there. Can't you see it? But the left hemisphere can't hear that at all. The right hemisphere does know the left hemisphere exists and knows that it needs to feed information because the right hemisphere is looking broad field for threats in context or opportunities in context. The left hemisphere is for control. And so it gets, something that it needs to control, and it works out all the complex, data and structures and processes and mechanics to actually exercise some action. But without context, without the proper broad field context, what the left hemisphere is trying to control is not always necessarily something to even exist, much less something that needs to be controlled. And so what winds up happening, and I suspect this is what's happening to your brother and his friends, is they are constantly exhausted.
Oh yeah.
They are
he's always out of energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was, for me, it was crushing exhaustion. I mean, like unreal. And I've been a triathlete, Ironman triathlete. I've been through selection twice, never been as tired, just constant, steady, never ending exhaustion, the kind where I could barely keep my eyes open, but I couldn't sleep because also I had severe brain injuries. Right. So my sleep was all over the place. Generally, what happens with folks, it sounds like with your brother, is that he's just exhausted because the two hemispheres of the brain are talking to each other too much. And he doesn't, aside from even that, his brain is constantly firing off because the inhibitory neurons aren't telling, that 60% of their job is shut up, right? Turn off, shut down. So generally what winds up happening with folks, it sounds like this and his friends, is they're just too tired to go do anything.
Yeah, I can't relate because I've never been there, but I can only say observation. So I'm 43, he's 44, and I have let's go do it.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
33, and look how tired I am compared to Cody. Like I have that problem for sure.
But I see other people outside of that realm having similar issues. Something happened, it got damaged, and they can't shut it up. And they have to utilize other methods, other whatever it is to quiet the brain or whatever it is.
So
that's
why they do
focus.
the marijuana. The problem with marijuana is it increases inflammation in the brain, so when the two hemispheres are stepping on the left hemisphere is stepping on the right hemisphere, and the right hemisphere is trying to talk to the left, saying, no, stop. You don't need to stress about that. That's not real, or that's not something you need to grab right now. There's this other thing, though, that you need to pay, right? So what's happening is anxiety is actually a physiological thing. It's not psychological, it's physiological. And it's the electromagnetic field of the left hemisphere stepping on the electromagnetic hemisphere of the right, or the electromagnetic field of the right hemisphere. Anybody who wants to try this, walk through a powerful electromagnetic, just a magnet or electrical field or a powerful electromagnetic field. You will feel hardcore anxiety, depending on the field, mild anxiety to hardcore anxiety. Why? Because when you're going through that electromagnetic field, you're dysregulating the communication of the two hemispheres of your brain, right? So that's what anxiety is.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because I've had that. You walk through a magnetic field because some of the stuff I've done,
you feel anxious. You feel anxiety.
Yeah.
It's just because it's, there's this delicate balance of the two hemispheres, which are electromagnetic fields that are having to communicate through the corpus callosum.